This book is full of stories that we grew up listening to for a large part of our childhood. What if I told you that these stories of the crocodile and the monkey, or the lion and the clever rabbit, were never meant to be just bedtime stories for kids, but had far more strategic importance going back centuries? What if I were to tell you that the Panchatantra was originally meant as a guidebook for kings? Get comfortable, because I'm going to tell you the tale behind all these stories. Legend has it that many hundreds of years ago, around 3rd century BC for those who are taking notes, there was a king who had 3 sons. According to some, this kingdom was based in modern-day Kashmir, while others believe that the princes were part of a kingdom in the southern part of India. But no one knows for sure. None of the 3 princes was particularly bright, and the king worried about the future of his kingdom in their incapable hands. So he brought in a tutor for his sons, the learned Brahmin Vishnu Sharma. And as the opening of the book tells us, one Vishnu Sharma shrewdly gleaning all worldly wisdom's inner meaning. In these 5 books, the charm compresses of all such books the world possesses. And thus, Vishnu Sharma began his lessons to the young princes, teaching them Niti Shastra, or the wise conduct of life and policy. The Panchatantra is made of 2 words, Panch, meaning 5, and Tantra, which roughly translates into systems or principles. So the Panchatantra is divided into 5 books, each book teaching a single larger principle through many moral stories. The 5 widely accepted principles are Mitra Vedha, the loss or separation of friends; Mitra Labha, or Mitra Samprapti, gaining friends; Kakolukiyam, of crows and owls, about war and peace; Labd Pranasham, loss of gains; and Aparikshit Karakam, ill-considered actions. But these lessons were not taught in an ordinary way. They were taught through the voices of the animals. Lessons that were deemed essential for survival in the dangers of the forest. For example, the first book, which tells of a friendship between a lion king, Pingalaka, and a bull, Sanjeevaka. 2 jackals, Karataka and Damnaka, are ministers of the lion who are responsible for breaking up the friendship. It can be said that this story stresses on the importance of having good friends and the outcome of associating with cunning people. Or the 4th book, which features the friendship of a crocodile and a monkey who became friends while sharing fruit at the tree where the monkey lives. The crocodile and his wife conspire to eat the monkey when they call him to their home for lunch. On his way over there, riding on the back of his crocodile friend, the monkey gets to know of this evil plan. He tells his friend that he left his heart in the tree, and if that's what his wife desires, then he must go back and get it for her. The crocodile, not wanting to disappoint, takes the monkey back to the tree. The monkey jumps away back into the safety of the tree and is able to save his own life. The lesson to be learned here? To choose your company wisely and always have presence of mind. The Panchatantra is full of such stories that teach valuable life lessons. According to historian Upinder Singh, the emphasis is on the need for effort, intelligence, cunning, and above all, solid good sense to survive in a difficult world. What makes these stories unique is that while the lessons taught was simple enough, the story was woven with careful complexity. Each of the 5 parts had a main frame story, within which there were several other stories that the characters narrated to each other, sometimes going 3 to 4 levels deep. Think of it like a Russian doll, of a story within a story within a story within a story. These fantastical tales were told over and over through the centuries, long after Vishnu Sharma first told them to the princes. The tales spread through a colorful network of pilgrims, court emissaries, scholars, soldiers, traders, diplomats, and assorted travelers across the world. It was also used to teach rulers of foreign lands across centuries. There are now an estimated 200 retellings of the Panchatantra in over 50 languages, making it one of our country's oldest and most widely traveled texts. It was translated into Pahlavi, or the Middle Persian language, as early as the 6th century CE. The Panchatantra stories also traveled to Indonesia through old Javanese written literature, and possibly through people who traveled there telling these stories. There was also an Arabic version which was made around 750-760 CE by Ibn al-Mukaffa. It is known as Kalila wa Dimna, named after the 2 jackals which feature in the first story, Karataka and Damanaka. This led to many other versions, including the Greek version in 11th century CE, Stephanitis Kai Ichmelatus. From this, translations were made into Hebrew, Latin, and various Slavic and European languages in the centuries to follow. Sir Thomas North, a British judge and a translator, introduced the Panchatantra stories to the English-speaking world in 1570 CE. Apart from its many translations, some literary experts have found that the Panchatantra stories have influenced how other stories have been told around the world. The way animal fables have been told in the Panchatantra has been likened to the Aesop's fables, teaching lessons of morality to the ancient Greeks, and Brer Rabbit in the United States, where a rabbit teaches moral lessons to humans. The trope of telling a story within a story has been seen replicated in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, written in the late 1300s and considered a classic in English literature. Traces of it are also seen in the Middle Eastern tales of 1001 Nights or
Arabian Nights.
Stories told by the clever Sherazad to entertain her husband the king every night in order to prevent him from beheading her until she won his heart. Some Indian scholars also believe that the Panchatantra influenced many of our nursery rhymes and ballads world over. All said and done, there is something about these stories from the ancient past, about animals learning to survive the wild world, that resonates with us even today. And that is why we share these tales with our children of the future.